Hey everyone, Deva here. First of all, I want to say that this video is not me complaining about the game. In fact, I'm in love with it, have 200 hours in, and I will keep playing for hours to come. However, I also wish for this game to have longevity and continuous success for the future, and I want to address some issues that I think will simply improve the gameplay experience for everyone if changed. And since the game has such an amazing start and lovely developers that since the beginning go back and forth in communication with the community, I think it's the best time to address this and also give the devs a little bit of hint what the community wants. Your guys' feedback is very important and welcome as well, and I hope this video gets noticed by the devs. Also make sure to drop your own suggestions and improvements in the comment section. Number 1. The dungeon score point system. As you all know, we have to go through a lot of dungeon farming to drop specific patterns that we need. The hard mode dungeons have also score system. However, this score system is terribly flawed. Let me explain why. So how it works is you choose some debuffs and it will give you a percentage increase on your score points per kill. However, most dungeons, even with a maximum percentage on debuff, like 230 or more, it's still impossible to reach that point threshold to be having a guaranteed double rewards when rushing through. The only way to achieve this is by purposefully not completing some of the objectives, because they will keep spawning monsters which are necessary to kill to reach that point threshold, or even running around not killing the boss until he spawned enough ads at the end. I'll make example of the Hagios dungeon. To reach max points you have to not capture the circles and keep killing monsters despite having a max debuff on percentage. Don't get me wrong, this is an amazing red battery farm, but in my opinion it's very flawed score design of dungeons reward system. A player should be rewarded for how fast he can clear a dungeon and not how much time he can delay each objective. A looter game spirit is to get over time more and more efficient with your farming and your farming your resources. My suggestion or solution to this without changing much the dungeon system will be a timer. A timer that gives or deducts points depending on your clear time. This encourages players to improve their builds and clearing times in dungeons, getting more efficient, strafing to get faster and faster, instead of doing tedious wait on each mission. Like, I really don't like waiting and getting rewarded for it. Of course, another simple solution would be to just give more debuff options, but again, this will slow down the dungeon so much that you actually are more efficient to go only once through it. But I mean, it's a second option. Number 2, access blueprints. When farming specifically for a 3 or 6% character drop, you will end up with enough. You will end up soon enough with 10, 20s or 30s or even more less rare character blueprints and weapon blueprints that you will never use. And I don't think trading is coming anytime this year. So I think we should have an NPC that allows us to melt the blueprints into points, which allows us to craft another pattern with those points that we can open. And it doesn't have to be something broken or unbalanced, but at least there will be some use for those excess items that you will stack so much up on just in a single month. Even if it's 20 blueprints into one pattern conversion ratio, just some use, even if it's just gold trading, I think we do need some use for blueprint excess items. Number 3, module capacity. This may be a bit controversial, but hear me out for a moment please. On this game you have so many building options and can be really creative with module synergies. However, once you make a build for a character and fill all the slots with catalysts, you're pretty much locked into it. Because you can't swap models around due to wrong symbols that almost double your capacity usage. So if you want to try a new build out, you need to do some tedious grind of more leveling and more catalysts to replace symbols. And you may just end up not liking your new build and wanting to go to your previous build, so it was all for nothing. And yes, it's a farming game, I get it. But it's also a game about having build variety and trying new builds out and enjoying the gameplay during the journey. Of course, you can say just leave some empty slots without catalysts. However, some build synergies just start working out once you filled your module slots. And as I mentioned, it's a very synergy heavy game, so we need to find out and see how the synergies work and all the crazy builds that you can do, like fast cooldown build with max range, or an ability duration build with maximized AoE range in exchange for less damage, and so on. I think most of you will understand my issue. I really wish to swap between 2 and 3 fairly differentiating builds. My solution to this are 2 more Descendant module slots that are not able to use catalysts on. This would not be anything broken, and it will make sure that you always have that small wiggle room, whether you want it or not. I believe that 10 module slots are not enough when there is such beautiful synergies of modules and creative builds that we can make on this game and the community wants to find out and experience. So I hope in the future we can farm an item that will increase Descendant slots or have a less grindy way of build swapping. Anyway, tell me what you think, guys, if you agree or disagree with my points and why so. I hope you're all having a nice and wonderful day and happy gaming.